Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Zhao Ji, although the mother of Qin Huang Yingzheng, later known as Qin Shi Huang, caused a turmoil in the palace because of her unwillingness to live in silence. She had improper relationships with several men, including Prime Minister Lu Buwei, and she also had a deep affection for her male lover, the pretend eunuch Lao Ai. In order to keep pretend eunuch Lao Ai from being restricted by the strict palace rules, Zhao Ji made a very lenient decision and did not have Lao Ai castrated. Zhao Ji hoped that she and Lao Ai could be together forever. Despite public gossip, she bore him 2 children. Later, to please Lao Ai, Zhao Ji not only helped him obtain the title of Changshin Marquis, but also gave him the region of Shanyang as his territory. Because of the affection Zhao Ji showed him, Lao Ai gained so much influence that even officials in the court began visiting him with gifts, trying to win his favor. Lao Ai's ambition gradually grew, and eventually, he planned to assassinate Qin Huang Yingzheng, later Qin Shi Huang, in order to place his own son on the throne. The plot was exposed and failed, but Zhao Ji, still soft-hearted, pleaded with Yingzheng to spare Lao Ai's life and protect him. So, what was it about pretend eunuch Lao Ai that could make Zhao Ji so infatuated? The story begins with Qin Huang Yingzheng's father, Yiran. Yiran was the son of Qin's King Shaowen and Lorden, but he was not favored. When the state of Zhao demanded that Qin send a prince as a hostage, Lorden did not hesitate to send Yiran to Handan in Zhao. While Yiran was neglected in Qin, his status became even more miserable when he arrived in Zhao. As Qin and Zhao went to war again, Yiran's situation became even more difficult, lacking even basic provisions and food. At this time, Lu Buwei, a smart merchant, saw Yiran's potential and decided to take advantage of the situation for his own benefit. He presented gifts and treated Yiran to food and entertainment. Through this connection, Yiran gradually regarded Lu Buwei as a good friend. There is a record in records of the grand historian that one day, while Yiran was drinking at Lu Buwei's house, he saw Zhao Ji dancing. Zhao Ji's beauty deeply attracted him, and Lu Buwei, being very astute, noticed Yiran's interest and cleverly facilitated their relationship, allowing Zhao Ji to become Yiran's wife. Later, Lu Buwei worked hard, spending a lot of money. And after the death of Yiran's father, Lorden, he managed to bring Yiran back to Qin to inherit the throne, becoming King Zhuangxiang of Qin. However, Yiran only ruled for 3 years before dying of illness, leaving Zhao Ji under 30. At this time, Lu Buwei had become a powerful official in Qin. Although Zhao Ji had lost her husband, her relationship with Lu Buwei did not grow distant but became even closer. As Yingzheng gradually grew up and began to take control of state affairs, Lu Buwei felt his power was being threatened. He realized that he must sever the ambiguous ties with Zhao Ji as soon as possible. To avoid further complications, Lu Buwei decided to find a male lover for Zhao Ji, and his choice was Lao Ai. Some historical records state that Lao Ai was originally just a street thug, tall and strong, but with certain masculine abilities. Lu Buwei believed that such a person could attract Zhao Ji's interest and thus divert her attention. Lv Buwei gave Lao Ai a large amount of gold, silver, and treasures, and took him as one of his retainers. However, he did not directly present Lao Ai to Zhao Ji. Instead, he used a clever method to make Zhao Ji herself request Lao Ai. Lv Buwei set a trap, hosting banquets every day to entertain high-ranking officials and their families. During these banquets, he had Lao Ai display his special abilities. According to the records of the grand historian, Shiji, Lao Ai was able to walk in public while carrying a small wooden wheel made of tung wood, using only his masculine treasure. The scene astonished everyone present, and made the women blush in embarrassment. Lao Ai's skills quickly spread throughout the court and eventually reached Zhao Ji's ears. Zhao Ji immediately summoned LV Bue to inquire about Lao Ai. LV Bue boasted about Lao Ai's unique ability, and Zhao Ji, intrigued, immediately ordered LV Bue to bring Lao Ai into the palace. Thus, LV Bue had Lao Ai disguise himself as a eunuch who had undergone the palace castration. Zhao Ji secretly bribed the officials responsible for carrying out the castration, and together they devised a plan to give Lao Ai a fake castration so that he could enter the palace as a eunuch and serve her. Once in the palace, Lao Ai became Zhao Ji's lover and won her favor. Soon after, Zhao Ji became pregnant. To prevent others from discovering her affair with Lao Ai, Zhao Ji claimed that she had divined through augury that she needed to leave the palace to avoid disaster. So she moved to a palace in Yongdi, present-day Baoji, Shaanxi province. Lao Ai accompanied her and stayed by her side. As time passed, Lao Ai began to realize the special treatment he was receiving from Zhao Ji. He became more and more arrogant and started to question whether he should always live under her shadow. No longer content with relying on Zhao Ji's power, he began to plan for his own rise to power. He often whispered his thoughts about power into Zhao Ji's ear, and she seemed to enjoy listening to him. Eventually, Zhao Ji made a bold decision. She wanted to grant Lao Ai the title of a marquis. When LV Bue heard this news, he was so shocked that he nearly fell off his chair. He hurriedly protested, saying, "How can a eunuch be made a marquis? This completely goes against the ancient rules." However, facing Zhao Ji's strong attitude, LV Bue could not refuse and went to King Yingzheng of Qin to request the title for Lao Ai. After some bargaining, Lao Ai finally received the title of a Marquis of Changxin and was granted the land of Shanyang as his territory. Not long after, Lao Ai's power grew even further. He was granted another region, Taiyuan, which he renamed Lao Ai State. Overnight, Lao Ai transformed from a fake eunuch with no background into a titled marquis. He began actively recruiting talents, and the number of his subordinates quickly grew to 3,000. As his power expanded, competition began to emerge between him and Lu Bue. At the same time, under the rule of King Yingzheng of Qin, the Qin state became increasingly powerful. The small neighboring states sent gifts, hoping to establish good relations with Qin. However, these envoys no longer only sought to meet Lu Bue, but turned to Lao Ai, currying favor with him instead. In an attempt to please Lao Ai, Prince Dan of Yen even gifted him a rare and valuable jade that could only be worn by a monarch. Lao Ai quickly became the talk of the town, and even Lu Bue had to give him some face. Although Lao Ai's influence was growing, Lu Bue knew well that Lao Ai was just an upstart with no political acumen, who rose to power through connections. Lao Ai lacked subtlety and caution in his actions, and it was only a matter of time before trouble found him. Sure enough, Lao Ai eventually got into serious trouble due to his reckless behavior. One day, he invited a noble official to his home for a drinking session. Both of them got terribly drunk and began playing a betting game. In their drunken state, Lao Ai and the official got into a heated argument, which eventually escalated into a physical fight. Drunkenly, Lao Ai shouted at the official, "I am the stepfather of the king. You're just a commoner, how dare you argue with me?" The official, enraged by this, immediately returned to the palace and reported Lao Ai's words and actions in full to King Yingzheng of Qin. The court officials had already noticed the improper relationship between Zhao Ji and Lao Ai but had kept silent about it, as it involved royal dignity. However, Lao Ai had the audacity to openly boast about being the stepfather of King Yingzheng, showing extreme arrogance. King Yingzheng had long been aware of the relationship between Zhao Ji and Lao Ai but had not expected Lao Ai to be so reckless. Upon hearing Lao Ai's brazen words, King Yingzheng was furious and decided to punish Lao Ai severely. When Lao Ai sobered up, he realized the gravity of his words and was filled with fear, worrying that King Yingzheng would have him executed. He knew the situation had become extremely dangerous, either he would be killed, or he would have to act first. Lao Ai decided to take action. He conspired with his subordinates to stage a coup and eliminate King Yingzheng, so that his own son could ascend the throne. In this way, he could become the regent and control the entire country. However, King Yingzheng quickly learned of Lao Ai's plans. Enraged, he ordered a thorough investigation into Lao Ai's background and his affair with Zhao Ji. Thus, King Yingzheng pretended to go to Yongdi to perform royal duties, but in reality, he used the opportunity to secretly investigate the relationship between Lao Ai and Zhao Ji. When Lao Ai learned that King Yingzheng was not in Xianying, he saw this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and decided to launch the coup. He gathered his subordinates, called upon some soldiers and palace guards, and marched towards Qinian Palace, claiming that all of this was done under the orders of the Empress Dowager Zhao Ji. However, before leaving Xianying, King Yingzheng had secretly dispatched his trusted officials, Changping Jun and Changwen Jun, to gather the Qin army outside the city in preparation for Lao Ai's rebellion. As soon as Lao Ai initiated the uprising, the Qin army would take immediate action. King Qin Yingzheng personally issued a heavy reward decree, offering a bounty of 1 million coins for the soldier who captured Lao Ai alive, and 500,000 coins for the person who killed him. Such a high bounty immediately boosted the morale of the Qin army, and everyone eagerly prepared for action. However, Lao Ai was completely unaware of this and continued to be smug, immersed in his own petty schemes. When his army set out, they soon encountered a fierce counterattack from the Qin army. The Qin army, known for their fierce and tiger-like strength, had been engaged in constant warfare for years, and their combat prowess was extraordinary. Compared to Lao Ai's disorganized force, they were on entirely different levels. Outside Xianying, a fierce battle broke out between Lao Ai's army and the Qin army. The Qin army's arrows rained down, and Lao Ai's forces suffered heavy losses. Soon, Lao Ai realized the situation was dire, and his army collapsed, retreating in panic towards the outskirts of Xianying. Before the powerful Qin army, Lao Ai had no chance of escaping. Ultimately, Lao Ai was captured, and King Qin Yingzheng launched a large-scale purging campaign. All those associated with Lao Ai, whether or not they participated in the rebellion, were held accountable. Lao Ai himself was sentenced to the cart-splitting punishment, and his paternal, maternal, and wife's families were also executed. Meanwhile, over 20 high-ranking officials involved in the Lao Ai incident were sentenced to heavy penalties, and others with connections to him had their titles revoked and were exiled to the Bashu region. Lao Ai's 2 sons, born of the Empress Zhao Ji, were also executed. Although the Lao Ai incident created some tension between Zhao Ji and King Qin Yingzheng, it did not fundamentally affect their mother-son relationship. After Lao Ai's death, King Qin Yingzheng became dissatisfied with Zhao Ji. As a result, King Qin Yingzheng decided to place Zhao Ji under house arrest in Yong, forbidding her from leaving freely. This move sparked reactions from many officials, who came forward to plead her case. However, King Qin Yingzheng, enraged, dismissed these officials, and some were even thrown into prison. After some time, official Mao Jiao noticed that King Qin Yingzheng's mood had softened, and he advised him to uphold filial piety and avoid leaving a mockery for the 6 states. Eventually, King Qin Yingzheng relented and brought Zhao Ji back to Xianying, where she was once again settled in Gongquan Palace. After Lao Ai's death, King Qin Yingzheng successfully used the incident to eliminate disloyal officials within his court and weaken the power of Liu Buwei. Through this series of actions, Yingzheng paved the way for his subsequent unification of the 6 states and laid a solid internal foundation for the future unification of China. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.